In a world that constantly demands noise, where voices compete for attention and opinions echo endlessly, silence becomes a rare and powerful presence. It is not the absence of sound, but the fullness of awareness. Silence speaks when words fall short. It carries truth without needing validation. While others rush to speak, defend, explain, and convince, the chosen one learns to pause, observe, and respond only when necessary. This kind of silence is not weakness, it is wisdom in its purest form. It is the stillness that allows one to hear the whispers of intuition, to understand what others are truly saying beneath their words, and to connect with a deeper layer of reality that lies hidden beneath surface-level distractions. Silence is the realm where clarity emerges and chaos dissolves. It teaches restraint in a world addicted to reaction, and presence in a time obsessed with performance. Through silence, the chosen one gains power, not over others, but over the self. In silence, the mind settles, and the heart reveals its most authentic intentions. Silence gives birth to inner strength, the kind that does not need to be announced, but is felt by everyone in its presence. It's in silence where strategy forms, healing begins, and vision becomes unclouded. Those who can sit in silence without reaching for distraction are those who have begun to master themselves. The ability to remain unmoved while the world shouts for your attention is not just discipline. It is liberation from the need to prove, to chase, or to please. Discipline is not punishment, nor is it rigidity for its own sake. It is the act of honoring your own potential, of keeping promises made in silence when no one is watching. It is the invisible thread that binds intention to outcome. The chosen ones do not wait for motivation. They operate from principle, and discipline is their foundation. Every time you choose consistency over convenience, you send a message to your soul that you are worthy of trust. When you rise before the sun, train your body, nourish your mind, and move through life with focused intention, you are not just doing tasks. You are respecting the divine potential that was placed inside you. Discipline is the daily act of choosing purpose over pleasure, growth over comfort, alignment over impulse. It is not about being perfect. It's about being committed. There will be days when the body resists, when the mind complains, and when the world offers every excuse to retreat. But those who are truly chosen understand that discipline is not what you do when it's easy. It's what you embody when it's hard. It's what carries you forward when passion fades, what sharpens your character when chaos surrounds you. Discipline is freedom in disguise. It allows you to break through the noise of distraction, to live with clarity, and to avoid the trap of regret that always follows undirected living. It trains the spirit to lead, the mind to obey, and the body to serve. And in this sacred order, power is born, not power over others, but power over one's own impulses, reactions, and weaknesses. When you hold yourself accountable to a higher standard, not because anyone told you to, but because you know what you are capable of, you elevate your existence beyond the ordinary. Discipline becomes your armor in a world full of temptation, your compass in moments of confusion, and your sacred reminder that nothing truly valuable is built without effort. Consistency and sacrifice. Energy is not random. It is guided, directed, and shaped by the clarity of intention. Wherever your focus goes, your life flows. Every thought, every emotion, every action is an investment of energy, and the return you receive is determined by the strength and purity of your intention behind it. The chosen ones understand this fundamental truth. The outer world bends to the inner signal you are transmitting at all times. If your intentions are scattered, your results will be scattered. If your intentions are reactive, your life will feel chaotic. But when your intention is pure, clear, and unwavering, energy begins to organize itself around your vision. You don't need to force outcomes when you are truly aligned. The universe conspires with those who move from purpose rather than panic. Intention is the silent architect of your future. It is the unseen force that fuels your actions with meaning. When you act with intention, even your smallest steps gain momentum, because they are connected to something far greater than immediate gratification. This is why the chosen ones spend time in stillness, not to escape life, but to tune into the frequency of their deepest calling. Once you are aligned, your words become sharper, your steps more powerful, and your presence more magnetic. You begin to attract people, situations, and opportunities that match the energy you've committed to. Intention is the root, and energy is the fruit. Without a clear intention, energy disperses and time is wasted. But with focused intention, even limited energy can achieve extraordinary outcomes. Your life is not defined by how much you do, but by how aligned you are while doing it. The strongest movements begin not with action, but with an internal decision. When your intention carries truth, integrity, and clarity, energy follows with unwavering loyalty. It is not about forcing your way forward, it's about becoming so clear in who you are and what you stand for that the path begins to reveal itself without resistance. Suffering is not the enemy. It is the invitation. It is the sacred doorway that leads to the transformation of self into something greater, something real. The chosen ones do not run from suffering, they walk straight into it, eyes open, heart steady, knowing that within pain lies the blueprint for their evolution. When you resist suffering, you multiply it. But when you embrace it with awareness, you begin to dissolve the false layers of identity that were never truly you. The ego cries for comfort, but the soul longs for depth, and depth is only reached through challenge, pressure, and the cracking of what is shallow. Every moment of pain holds a lesson, and every lesson is an opportunity to become more conscious, more grounded, more alive. Suffering has a way of shattering illusions. It reveals who you are without the masks, without the titles, without the performance. It strips you down to the essence, so that you may remember your strength not as something external, but as something forged from the fires within. This is the sacred work of the chosen, to meet suffering not as a curse but as a calling. To stop asking, why is this happening to me? And instead begin asking, what is this trying to awaken within me? There is a kind of power that only awakens in the depths of struggle, a power that cannot be taught, only lived. When you accept suffering as part of the path, rather than a detour from it, something inside you begins to shift. You stop blaming and start building. You stop avoiding and start alchemizing. What once felt like punishment begins to feel like preparation. The sharp edges of life that once cut you now shape you. Each wound becomes a doorway, and each scar becomes a map. You begin to realize that the suffering didn't come to destroy you. It came to expose the weakness, to burn away the excess, to remind you of your capacity to rise, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to become. Your surroundings are not separate from you. They are extensions of your inner state, silent mirrors reflecting the condition of your thoughts, emotions, and level of consciousness. The clutter on your desk, the noise in your space, the chaos in your routine, they are not random. They are signals pointing directly to the degree of order or disorder within. The chosen ones understand that the outer world is shaped by the inner world, not the other way around. When your mind is scattered, you tolerate confusion around you. When your heart is burdened, your space becomes heavy. But when you begin to cultivate clarity inside, through focus, simplicity, presence, that same clarity naturally manifests around you. Your room becomes more intentional, your schedule becomes more structured, your interactions become more meaningful. And none of it happens through force. It happens through internal alignment. A clean environment is not about perfectionism. It is about respect for the energy you allow into your life. It is the physical representation of mental clarity and emotional discipline. When you live in a space that is chaotic, dirty, or disorganized, it drains you quietly. Every object out of place, every task left unfinished, whispers a message to your subconscious that there is no control, no priority, no center. And the more you ignore these whispers, the more they grow into anxiety, fatigue, and distraction. But when you take responsibility for your environment, you are not just rearranging objects. You are reclaiming your power. You begin to create a space that supports your vision instead of sabotaging it. A sacred environment is not always luxurious or big. It is intentional. It breathes calm into your system. It helps you focus, reflect, and expand. This is why the chosen ones move with mindfulness in every aspect of life. They know that even the smallest act of organization, cleanliness, or beauty is an act of spiritual alignment. When you create order around you, you send a message to the universe and to your own subconscious that you are ready, that you are focused, that you are living with purpose. And in that message lies the blueprint for higher performance, deeper presence, and unwavering peace. The body is not just flesh and bone. It is the living temple through which spiritual force expresses itself. It is the vessel of breath, willpower, and sacred presence. Every step you take, every breath you inhale, every movement you make holds energetic weight, carrying the intention of your inner world into the physical realm. The chosen ones understand that neglecting the body is neglecting the very foundation upon which spiritual mastery is built. You cannot reach higher levels of consciousness while ignoring the vehicle that carries you there. Discipline over the body is discipline over the mind. When the body is weak, sluggish, or ignored, the mind becomes dull, reactive, and undirected. But when the body is trained, respected, and aligned, it becomes a pillar of strength, stillness, and endurance. It holds space for inner work and sustains the energy needed to walk the long, difficult road of transformation. Strength in the body becomes strength in action. Stillness in the body becomes stillness in spirit. Breath control becomes emotional control. And posture becomes the physical embodiment of intention. The way you stand, the way you move, the way you care for your physical vessel reflects your respect for the life force flowing through you. Every push up, every stretch, every early morning run, every cold shower, none of it is just about fitness. It is about creating a structure sturdy enough to hold powerful energy without crumbling. This is why warriors, monks, and spiritual initiates across traditions have always trained the body alongside the soul. Because they knew the spirit cannot soar if the body is imprisoned by laziness, fear, or neglect. Training the body is not vanity. It is preparation. It is a daily ritual of devotion, an offering to the divine essence within. When you move with purpose, when you breathe with awareness, when you eat with intention, you are not just keeping the body alive. You are honoring the divine intelligence that built it. The temple must be clean, strong, and ready, not for others, but for the sacred mission you were chosen to carry. A strong body does not guarantee enlightenment, but it makes you capable of withstanding the storms required to reach it. The chosen ones care for the body, not because they are obsessed with appearance, but because they know that without physical mastery, spiritual power cannot be sustained or fully embodied. Stop waiting for someone to validate your path, to recognize your worth, or to hand you an invitation to rise. Because no one is coming to give you that permission with loving support. The truth is, you were already chosen the moment you were born with breath in your lungs and purpose in your soul. But the world has conditioned you to wait for approval, for signs, for the right moment, for someone to tell you that you're ready. That waiting is a trap. It keeps your power dormant and your potential asleep. The chosen ones break that cycle. They move without applause, act without reassurance, and trust the inner voice even when no one else can hear it. When you keep asking for permission to be great, to speak your truth, to chase your vision, you hand your power to others who may never understand what lives inside you. Your mission is yours alone, and waiting for others to comprehend it before you act only ensures that it dies within you. There is no perfect time, no magical sign, no external authority that will make you more worthy than you already are. Worthiness is not earned through external validation. It is claimed through inner conviction. When you stop waiting and start doing, even in uncertainty, momentum is born. And momentum is more powerful than motivation because it doesn't rely on feeling ready. It creates readiness through action. The chosen one understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the refusal to be paralyzed by it. They know that every delay rooted in self-doubt becomes a brick in the wall separating them from their destiny. So they act, speak, create, build, and move, even when the world remains silent, even when the path is unclear, because they know the power to change a life, to shift a generation, to spark a revolution, has always lived within, and it is activated the moment you stop waiting and start stepping. When you choose to walk instead of wonder, lead instead of hesitate, and rise instead of ask for permission, you awaken the dormant energy that has been patiently waiting for your command. The world doesn't shape leaders. It watches as they declare themselves through action, commitment, and self-belief that needs no applause. The window is closing, not because of fear or punishment, but because time itself is a sacred threshold, and every moment you hesitate, that threshold begins to narrow. There is an energetic shift unfolding across the world, and while many remain asleep to it, the chosen ones feel it in their bones. It's a subtle tension in the air, a pressure building inside, a sense that something unseen is aligning, accelerating, and demanding action. This isn't about a date on a calendar. It's about a vibration, a call, a frequency that won't wait forever. Opportunities once available are beginning to fade for those who continue to live in distraction, doubt, and delay. The longer you postpone your awakening, the harder the climb becomes. The universe rewards movement, not intention alone. And while the masses remain trapped in cycles of repetition, comfort, and avoidance, the window for ascension remains open only to those who are willing to leap without certainty. You've been nudged, guided, warned, and reminded. The signs have not been subtle. The dreams, the inner urgings, the emotional discomfort, the synchronicities, all have been attempts to shake you awake before the shift becomes irreversible. The chosen ones recognize that preparation must be internal. You won't be ready externally until you first anchor yourself within. The window that once offered ease will soon require effort, and the path that once felt open will soon demand a higher cost. Energy is accelerating, timelines are collapsing, and the veil between action and consequence is growing thinner. This is the season where clarity is forged in discomfort, where indecision becomes a decision, and where those who choose to move will find doors that others will never see. The window is closing for distractions to be entertained, for cycles to be repeated, for the old version of you to keep driving the vehicle. A new level is asking to be born, but it requires shedding, severing, and stepping into the unknown with fierce intention. Those who wait for permission, who cling to the past, who hesitate in the name of caution, will be met with silence because the time for waiting is over. This window is not permanent. It was given, not guaranteed. And only those who sense its sacred urgency will pass through into the next phase of purpose, power, and presence. You have felt it. The pull, the pressure, the quiet voice within that refuses to be silenced any longer. This is not just another message. It is a mirror, a reminder, a call to rise while there is still time. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing these words by coincidence. You are among the few being called to remember who you are before the noise of the world convinced you to forget. With loving support, every choice you make this moment forward will either bring you closer to alignment or deeper into delay. The silence you cultivate, the discipline you commit to, the intention you hold, the suffering you transmute, the environment you elevate, the body you honor, the authority you claim with loving support, and the urgency you embrace, all of it is shaping the version of you required for what's coming. This isn't about fear. It's about frequency. And only those who are aligned in mind, body, and spirit will be able to step fully into their role when the window closes. No more waiting. No more asking. No more postponing your power. The time is now. The chosen are not selected by chance. They are revealed by choice. Make yours.